2014. And I'm on Highway 402 in Ontario, heading towards the East Bridge and the border with Michigan, US. So I spent the weekend at home, and this morning I stopped by the Mack dealer in Cambridge, because I called them Friday, right? And they said they will talk to the plant to see if there's anything they can do about the ECM settings. And they called the plant, and those guys are only like 450 miles away. And the plant said that this engine, 505C Plus MPA, already has the performance options enabled. So there's no heavy haul file or no severe service file that you can upload. And the only issue they started looking at was the lack of power when I'm pulling an empty trailer. And they gave them a Mack mechanic parameter name, like the line, you know, where to go and deactivate that torque reduction. And the guy wrote it down. It's kind of like a smart torque, you know, in when you empty, when the ECM does not feel a load on the engine, it reduces the power. And so this guy hooks up his laptop to my ECM port. It comes back 5 minutes later, says that thing is not there. That line, you cannot change it. It's already disabled. So they call the plant again, and the plant says, oh. So basically, and the mechanic gave him the VIN number, everything, right? So they don't know what's inside the ECM. And the guy tried to do something, and basically nothing is there. Like basically based on what the ECM looks like, I have full power, whether I'm empty or loaded. And he looked for update, like, you know, sometimes the factory issues updates for the ECM when it's a new truck, and there was nothing. So they let me go, didn't change anything, but it also did not charge me anything. But it drives okay when I'm loaded, you know, drives more or less fine. You know, it is a 30-liter engine, but there is much more power than when I'm empty, so that was my only concern. And some people say, what do you expect from a 30-liter engine? Well, I expect 1860 torque and 505 horsepower. That's more than enough for loads up to 85,000 pounds. That's my niche. And I was just trying to raise the guy on the radio, a Mack truck, the same truck like mine, and I know they all have 13-liter engines or even smaller. He was pulling a tanker, I don't know, like 10 axles, you know. I tried to call him on the radio, just ask him how is his truck doing. But I see it all the time. I see these Mack engines pulling humongous trailers with dozens of axles, you know. So it's a pretty heavy load. Otherwise, you know, what's the point of having axles on a trailer if you don't need them, right? So I know that this truck can do it. It's more than enough power. It's just that I need to find out how to release it. So maybe it's the axle ratio, maybe it's a software update. Oh, and speaking about the software update, there's a company called Diesel Spec, and they deal with performance improvements, kind of like Pittsburgh Performance, or there's another one, Diesel Freak, like I used before. So these guys are right there where I live. They're in Ayr, Ontario, AYR. And I sent them an email. I said, can you upload a performance file to my truck? And I gave him a VIN number. I told them what engine it is. And the guy this morning sent me a reply. He says, yep, we can give you, you know, heavy haul performance. It'll cost $1,750. So I don't know. Can you trust these guys, you know? Whereas the factory just said that my truck, this particular engine, 505C Plus, already has full performance, because that's what it was designed for. That's the difference between this 505C Plus I have and 505E Plus that they had before. So I don't think I should, you know, even try to spec because that's a lot of money, and the results are not guaranteed, you know. And maybe my engine will start overheating, stuff like that, you know. I don't want that. So the jury is still out. And the weather is very nice today. Sunny, as you can see, no snow. It's a bit chilly, only 0S or 32F, but very easy to drive, except in this weather, except that there's a strong side wind. So I have to, you know, keep my steering wheel slightly turned to one side. So 86 kilometers or what, 52 miles to the Peace Bridge. I'm at on the Canadian side of the Blue Water Bridge, and now we're gonna see how difficult it is for the truck, or how light it is for the truck, how easy to pull this load up this big hill, because this is a pretty hilly bridge. And so my gross right now is just like just a couple of 100 pounds more, or above 101,000 pounds. 101,440. Probably even lighter because I burned some fuel on the way. So let's see. We're gonna start in low gear. There's people flying from the gate where they pay the
drive 6.4 kilometers on 402.
And I'm splitting the gears. Second high. Very low, very high, four low, four high, five low. It's okay. Five high. Six low. I'm gonna stay here because I can feel it's difficult for the engine. That is a big hill. RPM is 1400, speed is 43 kilometers an hour. $14.25. Steady. 1450, and we're switching to 6 high. Maybe even to 7 low. And here's my engine brake. And you see on the right it says 30 speed limit. Which is miles per hour, so I'm already in US. Of course, if they don't like you, they can always turn you around, right? But up ahead, Jesus, very bumpy road. Up ahead is the customs boost, so we're gonna cut cut this movie short because as I found out, they don't like it when you film it. And I'm in US for real, because the bridge was just a bridge, but this is we're taking the exit for I-69 towards Lansing. A route that I probably did like, I don't know, 200 times. So basically 30F, but the wind is pretty bad. I don't envy construction guys working outside right now. And that's it.
Continue 104 kilometers.
The zone, construction zone ends. We're gonna set the cruise control, probably 57 miles per hour, okay, I mean again. And my next stop is Flying J in Lansing, Michigan. It's still windy in Michigan. I hope that the wind will change, you know, after you cross the big river, but nothing changed. Oh, and I got a new headset. Picked it up last week at the TA in New York. This is a Blue Parrot B250XT Plus, the latest one. And it works much better than the built-in Bluetooth here in the truck because the mic is too far. And I was always shouting, you know, here the mic is right here. And I can increase the volume, you know, of my own, you know, like how I can hear people. Well, I can do that with the Bluetooth inside the truck. But people were complaining that my voice sounded like far away, you know. Now because the mic is so close, I already talked to a couple of people and they say it sounds better. So. And I didn't do too much driving today because it's already dark, you know. I already got stopped once by a cop, and that's why I called this video Cops and Robbers, because I'm driving and there's a spot, Capac, Michigan, basically half an hour west of Port Huron. At one point there's a sign that says State Police, and there's always cops, you know, somewhere close to that location sitting in the middle, right? And I'm driving below the speed limit, you know, pretty slow because the load is heavy, right? So I want to save some fuel. And I see this guy sitting in the middle, you know, a big SUV with a light on the roof. And I'm on cruise control, everything is cool, I'm in the right lane, right? And then I pass him, and I look at my mirror 2 seconds later, and he's gone. He's not in the middle anymore. And of course, he was facing this way, like in the direction of my travel, so, and I'm the only oversized guy, you know, of course I attract attention with all these flags, you know, and signs. And I look behind, and I cannot see him. And then, all of a sudden, I see there was a guy trying to pass me, like another truck, and I see all of a sudden the guy just sits there. You know, he's afraid to pass me. So, so I know the cop is right behind me. And I look like this, and I can barely see his mirror, right, you know? And sometimes, you know, they just follow you to check your license plate on their computer, right? And then they leave you alone. But I see that this guy sticks behind me because this truck still sits there, and he's like, so it's like a trio, you know, me, then the cop, and the guy on the left right next to the cop. And I'm not sure what the cop, you know, is doing, but then I look again, and it looks like he's trying to go in the middle to maybe to flash his lights or something, but the truck is in his way. And then finally I see, just, you know, like 10-20 seconds later, I see there's a rest area on the right, and right away I knew that this guy was just waiting for that rest area. He did not want me to stop on the shoulder, right? And I look in the mirror again, and I cannot see his rooftop. All I can see is his mirror. And you know, these police cars, they have like lights all over the place, and one of those flashing lights is on the mirror. And I look, and I thought it was a turn signal. No, it's a flashing strobe light right on his mirror, because it's not flashing like boom, boom, boom like a turn signal. It does, like, you know, like a irregular pattern, so you can tell that it's a strobe light. And of course, right away I flipped my turn signal, pulled in, and just for once I ran into a cop who was in a good mood, you know. Just asked me to show him my permit, oversized permit, asked me a couple of questions to make sure that I knew the conditions. Okay, took my driver's license, my registration. He says sit tight for 10 minutes. Went back to his SUV, just did an inspection form, you know, that he checked my, and he asked for my bill of lading. He says, where are you going? I said, Salt Lake City, Utah. He's like, you going all the way to Utah? I said, yes, sir. Yeah, that's a long drive. And he came back 10 minutes later, gave me all the paperwork. You're free to go. All right, cool. So no ticket, you know, just a quick paperwork inspection. So I wish more meetings with the law were like this. So, well, I still have a very long way to go. Not sure when I'm gonna be there. Thursday maybe, or maybe early Friday. So we'll see. So stay tuned.